in end of March, and today the last of our complimentary webinars that we'll be conducting, at least for the next 6 to 8 weeks. So thank you all for coming in. And while we have done a lot of webinars of the past, today I'm going to end this entire series with a very serious question. And today morning, I was having a conversation with a business owner who's about turnover about 35 crores, and we are going to sign up with him by end of the coming week. And the fact of the matter is that he says that without me, my business doesn't run. And I'm sure all of us in this room started off business, gave up our job, thinking about a freedom that we will get, and finally we did not get that freedom. So my question to all of you today is, are you truly an entrepreneur? Do you have the freedom to do whatever you want in this entrepreneurial journey of yours? So I would like to request all of you for a few ground rules. One, please keep a paper and pen with you, because there will be a lot of small things that you will get to know. Not that it is something absolutely new, but this is what we call the blinding flashes of the obvious, which you will get to know and which you can really go out and implement in your business from Monday. And then I'm happy to talking to you. And second, I want 3 of your senses to work today: the eyes, the ears, and the fingers. And the fingers are to type on the chat box. So tell me, please use the chat box and tell me, do you believe you have got the freedom that an entrepreneur deserves? Quickly on the chat box, please. I'm getting a few responses. No, Ashish. Okay. No. No. Interesting. Interesting. There are about 10 of us in this room, and a few more will join during the course. Quite, but not substantial, says somebody. And I'm very interested in knowing that whether he can give up his job for the next 6 months, go to Bahamas, and come back and find a rollicking, rocking business. Not one yes. Not one yes. And that is something that is extremely challenging for me. If we have to look at this vast sector of the SME and the MSME sector, which gives so much of employment, which does so much good for the country and does so much good for the country's GDP, why are the owners not getting the freedom? Are we leaving behind a legacy? And I'm going to start off with a few quotes. Are we going to leave behind a legacy? Because the idea is not to live forever. None of us can. But the idea is to create something that will live forever. Quote by Andy Warhol, a leading entrepreneur, leading businessman, and a leading thinker. My job today and my role today is to show you a path by which you can achieve that freedom. Then it's up to all of us to take action. I want all of us, or all of you business owners who have worked so hard in your life, to think for a minute, close your eyes and think for a minute, what is the legacy that you are going to leave behind? Because we mistakenly think that success is a result of the amount of time that we put at work instead of the quality of time that we put in. All of us are working extremely hard. And I will talk to you about the entrepreneurial conundrum that globally everyone faces. It's not in Indian context. Because today, as we end the series of free webinars, complimentary webinars, I would want you all to get balance in your lives. But before we get into it, who are we? And why do you think you should be spending your next 90 minutes listening to us? We are the world's #1 business coaching company, set up in 1990, 4 by Brad Sugars. Our job is, and our belief is, that we believe that we can create world abundance through business re-education. We believe that if we help business owners and entrepreneurs drive their businesses better, not only they make more money, they take care of multiple other families whom they're employing, and they are in some way, with a small percentage, if it may be, contributing to the countries and the world's GDP. The world is today starved of abundance, abundance of thoughts, abundance of emotions, abundance of money. And that's where we are all aiming towards. We operate in 76 countries globally, ladies and gentlemen, and we coach about 15,000 businesses each week across the globe. In India, we have been operating for the past 13 years. We started in 2010, and we have coached hundreds of businesses achieve this abundance. That is the power of Action Coach. And it is not we who are saying it is world's #1 business coaching firm. The Entrepreneur magazine has come up and said, want to know more information, please go to www.actioncoach.com and see a lot of videos of Brad, because we believe in giving. Something about me before we jump on into the topic. I have worked in businesses. I started working way back in 1991. Had a journey, and not all of it is up, and there have been downs as well, as like all of us. Worked across geographies, worked in multiple countries, with large global companies, led businesses. One of the very few people in the Indian context who has gone up and set up business distribution channels in Pakistan, Nepal, Bangladesh, and Sri Lanka. And I had the privilege of doing that. Did that in 2003, 2004. I used to go regularly to Karachi and set up the distribution channels there for our analytical instrumentation business. About 6-7 years back, I decided it's time to move on, and I started my entrepreneurial journey. Today, I have touched with 4 companies. This is Beyond Red Ocean Consulting, is the coaching and the training company in which Action Coach is a franchise partner. We are a franchise partner of Action Coach. So we coach businesses with the Action Coach model, and I do my own life coaching and behavioral transformation. Company called as Quinton Air and Odor Management. We are one of the Government of India startups. About 3 years back, we were recognized as a startup who's bringing in innovative solutions in the area of infection control. So we have patented products. It's used across sectors. Primarily, the sector was healthcare. Today, we are in talk with Taj Group of Hotels for infection control in their hotels and other corporate offices. HTMS is a business in the executive search space. We hire middle and senior management professionals for, again, large companies, both in India and overseas. And as a Bengali, we are foodies. So we have a cloud kitchen concept called as Paid Pore, where we do absolutely Bengali cuisine through the cloud kitchen model. So 4 businesses that are going on currently. And my primary focus obviously being in the coaching, because other businesses, we have other partners who take care of it as well. And I've been teaching for the last 19, 20 years across B schools in Mumbai, Dubai, Singapore, and Delhi. In Dubai and Singapore, it's with the SP Global, SPGen Institute of Global Management, where I do the executive MBA batches for them. And my core subjects are marketing and strategy. And that's how, because of the inclinations towards strategy from a long time, that brought me into Action Coach, and Action Coach wanted me to become one of their franchise partners. So having established the context of the game today, which is, do you believe you are a true entrepreneur? Let me ask you one more question. And I want some quick yes and no. Does your business depend on you totally? Some quick yes and no, please. Does your people wait for you to come to you? Wait for the boss to come, the driver to come and keep his bag, and then say, the boss will come and say, we need to do this. If we are in that state, ladies and gentlemen, we don't own a business. We own a job in our own company. And that is not a business. Thank you very much. If they do not wait for you, congratulations. I'm so proud that you are really up there in the entrepreneurial grid. I'm so honored, and heartiest congratulations. The fact of the matter is 90% of the business owners I talk to have this challenge. If not on a day-to-day, I'm not talking about day-to-day basis. Day-to-day, they all know what accounting they need to do and what letters they need to type. But if the strategic thinking of the business is based on the entrepreneur coming and opening his door, and then there is a plethora of people coming and asking him, sir, customer complaint, delivery issue, this and the other thing, I'm asking you two questions. Is your business driving you, or are you driving your business? Think about it. And it's good to be honest to yourself. It's good to be honest to yourself that is your business driving you, or are you driving your business? I can see a lot of comments based on the people who are there that they don't think they're driving the business. It is the business who's driving their entire calendar. Their entire calendar is fixed, is very flexible, because you don't know when customer complaints are going to come, when the delivery issue is going to come, when the financial requests that are going to come, when they have to go call the banks for additional working capital loan. Everything seems to be working on that day-to-day business. Globally, small and medium businesses have not been started by entrepreneurs. They've started by technicians. Technicians who've been extremely good at their job. Question to you again, ladies and gentlemen. Are you an entrepreneur, or are you a technician? And let's differentiate. And let's differentiate the entrepreneur and the technician conundrum. Who is a technician? The doctor, right up at the right corner of your screen, spends 5 years doing his MBBS, then 2 years in his MD, starts his own clinic, he gets his compounder, he gets his nurse, and from morning to evening, they're looking at patients. They open the clinic in the morning, and they close the clinic at night, late evening, maybe a couple of hours of lunch break in between. And morning to evening, they are in the work. They're in the business. They're catering to their patients, catering to the customers. There is no thought about how to grow this business. There's no thought about where are the other areas of expansion that will be coming in from. They're all in the business. Similar with this gentleman at the center of your screen, who's a plumber. Someone told him, when he was working in the hospitality industry, that he's a great plumber. So he felt that he can do the job. So he went and started his own plumbing company, and he then goes and repairs water connections. Same with the electrician. Same with the car mechanic. Same with the lawyer. All of them fantastic technicians. I was talking to the hairdresser, a client of my other day. Not a client, she was a prospect, but she didn't convert into a client because she did not like what I told her. She one day came and told me that, Malloy, you know what? I have opened the salon 3 years back, and I think I'm making the same amount of money like any of my other senior employees. I said, okay. What do you do the entire day? She says, I cut hair. I says, if you cut hair, then you should be paid like a hairdresser and not like a business owner. Unless you decide not to cut hair, and look at your business, you will continue to be a technician who is at work. If you look at the healthcare situation in the country, till about the early 80s, we were all in the technician mode till the corporate hospitals came up. So while we were in the mode of technicians, we had those nursing homes where the doctor used to be the manager, the doctor used to be the business owner, the doctor used to be the CEO, and you couldn't grow more than 5, 6 beds, 10 beds. Till the corporatization of the hospitals came up, whether it was the Fortis, whether it was the Apollos being the pioneers, whether it was the Shankar Netralais, whether it was the Arvinds, whether it was the Kanchi Kamakoti Medical Trust, whether it is Fortis or whether it's Dr. Agarwal's. In none of the hospitals, the owner is in the business. They are on the business. Yes, they do look at patients, but not on a day-to-day basis. And there are multiples of 1,000 beds. So we can be small, and we can continue to do what we are doing, but we'll never be able to grow. And global statistics say that 70% of the businesses are not transiting into the next generation. Because the people who are getting educated in overseas universities are coming back to their businesses, and they're seeing their parents in the business, which is not why these guys went and got educated in the Stanford or the Harvards of the world. They don't want to be in the business. And they're saying that this is not what we want to do. All organizations who have grown large have worked on the business. I was having a chat with a CA. He used to work for, continues to work for Reliance Industries. He says, well, do you know when we were a 10,000 crore company, we had 100 CAs, chartered accountants. Today we are whatever it is, in billions of dollar turnover, a number of CAs have come down because everything is now getting in the autopilot mode. If you're in the technician mode, the technician is at the center. You cannot do all those other things of sales, marketing, market segmentation, customer satisfaction, legalities, finance, accounting. Who will do that? Who will do that? You can't do all of this put together. And hence businesses don't grow. Hence there is a cap which comes onto the business because we continue to think as entrepreneurs, as technicians. And that's where the entrepreneur conundrum comes up, because you're so good at your work, at the technical ability, that you can see and smell opportunity from a distance, but you cannot touch it. You're the person who's working the hardest, 12 to 15 hours in a day. You're juggling different roles. Sales, marketing, operations, customer satisfaction, employees, hiring, sacking, interviews, cash flows, bank loans, what all you're doing. And you have 2 hands, you're juggling. And when you're juggling, you have to work the hardest. So you work harder than any of your employees. You have no time for self and family. And you complain that no one seems to work without me. But the fact of the matter is we have created that situation as entrepreneurs. We're always stressed. Stress has become our middle name. And because of that stress, there are health concerns that have come up. And the best part of the entrepreneur conundrum is after doing all this, you are not making money. And there comes in a time when I've again heard this with a lot of entrepreneurs. They said, well, entrepreneur, maza nahi, I'm not getting the fun of it. You'll not get the fun of it because you're doing the same thing again and again. And when we do the same thing again and again without something new in life, obviously the fun goes out of our business. When we start the business, it was all fun because we started something new. There's something bright and interesting to look forward to. But all that has gone away because we are stuck in firefighting. We're stuck managing customers. We are stuck in the role that we are there. And that leads to one of the most commonest element of business failure, and that is called as burnout. This is the #1 reason for business failure. 80% of the businesses fail in the first 5 years of operation. And one of the reasons is burnout, because other reasons, customer, product, finances, there are other reasons. I'm not saying burnout is the only reason in the first 5 years. But of the 20% which survive and get into cross that 5-year threshold, in the next 5 years, 80% of those 20% close down. Now, there's no reason for them to close down because they've established themselves in the market. They have the right product in the marketplace. They have everything in the market going right for them in the marketplace. The only thing that kills them is the burnout of the founder, the burnout of the entrepreneur. And I don't want you today, at the end of today's session, to even think about burnout. We need to have a business which becomes a product which can be sellable. So if tomorrow there's nobody else to look after our business, it should be a sellable business. How do we look at monetizing that business? How do we look at valuation of the business? But when valuation comes up, we'll have to have the systems in place. And I'll briefly take you through the systems, not in depth. For in depth, we can all have one-to-one conversations or questions at the end of the session. Because Action's definition of a successful business is a commercial, profitable enterprise that works without you. You have to have an option that you can, out of choice, not out of necessity. You want to go back to your business every single day, please do that. No one is stopping you. And we are not somebody recommending that to you at all, because you love your business, it's a passion. But in case you want to take a leave, in case you want to go and play golf, in case you want to take a holiday, in case you want to start another business, you should be able to focus somewhere else. And because we are talking about commercial organizations, we are not talking of the not-for-profit sector. That is a great sector again. But from the commercial side, it has to be commercial. And it has to be have a profit which is visible. Look at all the companies struggling in the last 8 weeks, 10 weeks. All those companies who have significant cash in hand are coming to television and saying the world is going to look so much better, and so on and so forth. And on the other hand, I get a lot of comments in my personal chats that look at how the government not taking care of the SME sector and the MSME sector. It's all a function of how we have operated. 3 business challenges that all of us face. Across the board, across the globe, across the 76 countries that we operate in, these are the 3 universal challenges that business owners face. Either they're unhappy with the team that they have, or they are not making any money, or they're not having enough time, or it's a combination of all 3 or 2. And my question to all of you again is, if these are the challenges you're facing, what is that common thread between all of them? And the common thread is how, as a business owner, we have run or we are running our businesses. When we started a business, we were in that seesaw mode because we had nobody. So we are all alone. We are in the seesaw mode. We're looking at business development. We are looking at delivery, going up and down. Business starts coming. We start growing, and we start hiring people. But the people have been hired without any knowledge of how to hire good people, how to put the right people in the bus. And money always has been a constraint. So we hired people based on our limited knowledge of hiring. and we put in the wrong people in the bus. And when we put the wrong people in the bus, instead of they helping me grow, they start creating problems. So now as a business owner, I'm running around the mulberry tree, putting out the fires. So whether it's delivery issues, whether it is customer issues, whether it is pricing issues, whether it's supply chain issues, I'm moving around the mulberry tree. And when I'm moving around the mulberry tree, I get so frustrated at some point in time that I give up and say, why do I need people? Now the business has grown, but I am sacking people, or I'm having people who are incompetent because I don't know how to hire people, and I don't know how to motivate people, and I have not given them any KPIs. They don't know why they're coming to work. And hence I have to put in that 15, 20 hours of work, and I don't have any time. So I was talking to another business owner the other day. He says, well, when we start coaching, when you start signing up, please don't talk to me about money, because I have had enough top line, enough profit. You show me how you can reduce my time from 6.5 days a week to 4 days a week, because I now need to live my life. So he has the money. What he doesn't have is team, and what he doesn't have is a system. And these are challenges that we have created for ourselves, because no one has taught us how to hire a team. If you're hiring a CA, you check his credentials. BCom, MCom, CA, worked in good organizations. If you're hiring a marketing guy, you're checking his credentials. If you're hiring a manufacturing guy, you're checking his credentials. But no one teaches a business owner how to run a business. There's no course in this world. Yeah, there are short-term courses by a lot of good management colleges, short-term courses, but they are not in the business. They give theoretical knowledge. So no one has taught a business owner how to have a business in place. Now, if that is the situation, if these are the three key challenges that we are having, how do we come out of it? Because we need to come out of it if we have to have a business which works. When I coach people, when I coach businesses, this is the first thing that we look at. It's a study that has been conducted, which has said that the amount of affection, relationship that a business owner has with the team is directly proportional to the relationship that the team has with the customer. So if I'm going to take care of my team as a business owner, my focus is on my team, then I know my team is going to take care of my customer. And when the customer gets that extra delight in his business, in the work that he's getting from my team, he goes and supports my business. He recommends others to my business. He buys more from my business. And when he does all that, the business takes care of me as the business owner. So the team becomes critical, because without that team, neither will I have customer satisfaction, neither will I have time. And if I don't have any of these, I will not make money. So please look at yourself and ask yourself, how many people in your business can you truly depend upon? Depend upon to that extent of that horse, Chetak, Rana Pratap's horse. When Rana Pratap was injured in the battle and his unconscious body was on the horse knew exactly where Rana Pratap had to be taken to, because he had the vision, he had that eyesight, he had that foresight to take the owner to wherever the owner wanted to go, not where he wanted to go. The owner, he knew the owner. How many of your team members know the owner's vision and drive? Because if we don't have this, then the other formula for success will not fall in place. The formula for success truly is changing ourselves. And for that, when we coach and we work with our entrepreneurial business owners, we now first need to do an alignment about what are those personal goals which motivated a business owner to start a business. What does he want to have from life? What are all those dreams and aspirations that he wants to have from life? And one of the things that we have all seen with many of the business owners, somewhere in the journey of business, they've forgotten their dreams. They're forgetting the whys of starting that business, the whys of coming into that family business, if it's a second-gen business. That whys have totally have disappeared. You're all in that zone of getting things done. And by getting things done, you will not achieve your personal success. Your personal success is as critical to the business as your professional success. So my humble request to all of you today is, at the end of today's session, please spend some time with yourself tomorrow on a Sunday and look at what are those things that you want to have. What are those dreams that you have? The art of dreaming is a very powerful tool. The art of visualization is a very powerful tool. Every morning, how many of us are visualizing about what do we want to have in life? It can be the materialistic things, or it can be the spiritual things, or it can be those things that I want to give back to society. Again, I was talking to another business owner. He says, Bala, what kind of visualization you want me to do? Because I have so much to do. I have so much money. And when I prodded him further, he came with a solution, or he came with that hidden belief that one of his lifetime goals is to create an orphanage. Now that orphanage became his visualization. That what kind of orphanage, what kind of infrastructure, what kind of location, where all will the children be in, what kind of facilities will he give them? And to do that, what does he need to do in his business, in his workplace? We all have read the book Secrets, and if you have not read the book Secrets, please go and watch the film Secrets if you have not watched it. The art of visualization is extremely powerful. Write your dreams down, because the dreams which have to be big, because if the dreams don't scare you today, those dreams are no dreams. The dreams that you see today should be something that is scaring you, that makes you afraid, that will I be able to achieve them? Because those big dreams are going to give you your goals of life. And the goals of life will give you a direction and will give you momentum towards life. All of us have somewhere in our life, many of us, not all of us, many of us have gone into that comfort zone. We just refuse to get out of that comfort zone. But ladies and gentlemen, the fact of the matter is that magic happens outside that comfort zone. Magic does not happen in the comfort zone. We're all very happy with whatever we have got, go to a factory, do the work for 14, 15 hours, send the materials, come back, and then think about that business, that tomorrow I will do this. This is not a life that I want you guys to live through. So first we need clarity on the haves. What is it that we want to have from life? What is our end goal? What is success? Success is moving towards that goal. It is that gradual step-by-step moving towards that goal. But for that, we need to have that goal, because life is all about living backwards and planning forward. So unless I know that on that day, when the Almighty decides to take us away from this planet, what is the legacy I'm going to leave behind? What is that thing that I'm going to leave behind into this beautiful planet, which has given us so much of opportunities? What is that I'm going to leave behind on that day? I will not have a goal for life. And I'm using this phrase, goal for life. Something that wakes me up every single day and drives me towards achieving that. Because once we have that haves decided, which is our dreams and our goals, then I need to figure out, how do you do it? Do I need to learn something? Do I need to plan an activity? And what are the actions that I need to take? Very simplistic. My dream is to reduce 10 kgs weight. That's my have. So what is it that I need to do? I need to gym, which means I need a trainer. So I need to learn how to do it. I want to run. So I need a trainer who will help me achieve becoming a marathoner, but not for marathon for 42 kilometers, but at least for 5 kilometers. Then I need to plan out my day. Every morning, 6 o'clock, I will go and start doing it. So I need to have that built into my calendar, and then I need to take action. Having that plan is fine, but result is an outcome of action. So I need to act every morning, whether it's rain, sun, wind, cold, whatever it is, I need to take action. I want you to look at life differently after today. I want you to all have a different have from your business. You've run a business successfully. Most of you have run a business successfully. So that initial haves have been achieved. Now look at the next level. And the next level should scare you, should make you afraid. Because from there, you will have to get into that do's. But the interesting bit is, these are mathematicals. This is mathematical formula. If do is equal to have is true, then every individual in this world should be successful. Because all that we need to do is have, and all that we need to do is the do. That 95% of the people in this world should be successful. But the truth is that 95% of the people are not the top 1% of the population. They've not reached that 1% of the population. They're struggling. That 1% of the population is very different. They look at life differently. They are achieving something that all of us can only aspire to achieve. Look at Mukesh Ambani. Goes and sells stake after stake of his company, 9.99% to Facebook for 10,000 crores. What is enabling him to do it and we can't do it? What is that other piece of that missing formula? What is that missing factor? And ladies and gentlemen, we are not human haves. We are not human beings. We are not human do's. There's something else. Brian Tracy has made the statement. Pardon me for the mistake. Brian Tracy has made this statement, and he makes the statement in every seminar and a webinar or book that he writes. In life, becoming successful is not important. What is important is to become the person who is successful. Now, if you become the person who is successful, then forget about all your time, team, money challenges. You're a different zone altogether. You're now looking at the business from not in the business. You're no longer a technician. You are one of those people who are running 10, 15, 20 different businesses simultaneously. You're a different person altogether. And the missing factor is, which completes the formula, is B, is ourselves, is this human being who is that transformation agent. Now look at this. Let's put some mathematical numbers to this formula. And for example, if I have to have 100 different things in have category, and I am that one, currently I'm one, right? So I need to do 100 different things to achieve that 100 different haves. So I now need to plan learn, plan, act, those 100 different things, because I have in my dream list that 100 different things that I want. So I, as an individual, whoever I am today, and all of us are successful at whatever level we are, I have to do those 100 things to achieve those 100 haves. But instead of focusing on the 100 haves and the 100 do's, just look at ourselves. How do we upskill myself? How do we transform myself as a business owner and as an individual? Because the moment I'm able to make that transition from 1 to 2, now to get that same 100 different things, I don't have to do 100 different do's. My do's comes down 50%. Because now I have a team who is doing it. Now I have a system which is doing it. Now I have my knowledge which is being used by others to do it. I don't have to do it myself because I have transformed. I have transformed. This is the power of multiplication. And this is the power by which, by transforming myself as a business owner, I can achieve a lot more in my business, or I can get a lot more time and still achieve whatever I wanted to have in my business. Look at options 2 or 3. In option 2, when there are 50 things that you need to do, I get time. And if I don't want to give time, because there are a lot of youngsters in this room, we say we don't want time at this point in time. I will still do those 100 different things, but my results multiply. Now I'm getting double the results. So I'm no longer struggling at that 100 haves. I'm getting those 200 haves. My dream list is getting fulfilled. Now I don't have one business. I have 2 businesses. I have 4 businesses. But look at the below the line. Look at that B again. And look at the last line of 5. I have transformed myself. I have upskilled myself. I have learned new skills. I've gathered new knowledge, but I have not changed my mindset. My mindset is still very negative, where I'm blaming the world, everyone around me, and living in that state of denial that my business is fine, sir. What are you telling me about my business? My business is fine. Everybody in my business knows what needs to be done. If everybody knows what needs to be done, what is your growth rate over the last 5 years? Because my mindset is in that denial mode. My mindset is in the negative mode. And when my mindset is minus, so whatever I may do, my outcomes is going to be way below whatever I have desired. Because anything multiplied by a minus is minus. And hence, this is the first statement that I leave for my business owners when I coach them, that be positive is not only a blood group. One, you have to transform that B into skills, into upskilling, getting knowledge and acting and planning. But I also have to take that ownership on me to implement those things. And I need to have a positive state of mind, whatever may come. Because if you look at the last 20 years, 23 years, 1998, 99, we had the Y2K issue. We had the dot-com bust. And people said the world will be over. 2002, 2003, 2002, we had the terror attack in US. People said the world will change. 2008, 9, we had the subprime crisis. Again, a global impact. Then we had the demonetization. Then we had GST, and now COVID. Every 4 to 5 years in the last 23 years, we are seeing turmoil. And all those businesses who have succeeded or grown is because the business owner has said, come what may, I will look at the positive side of the opportunities. Even today, all those people are looking at the positive sides that will come up post July, August, are people who are sitting there with a smile on their face. We need to change, ladies and gentlemen, because we have 2 choices. One, we stay below the line or we stay above the line. This is what we call the point of power. And business owners in this room, especially in the manufacturing space, you will know that when you're sitting together with your people and doing a review, you ask your salesperson, what is the problem? Why is sales not picking up? And as adults, we are very clever and deft at deflecting the blame. So we start blaming the production guy, that the production guy is not giving you good quality product or product on time. The production guy, again, pushes it back either to the salesperson that his configuration keeps on changing, and because of which his supply chain is not keeping up to the delivery. The supply chain pushes the blame to the finance guy, saying that all the vendors have not been paid. How can he ask the vendors for more credit? And the finance guy pushes the ball back to the salesperson that this guy is selling, but not collecting. And I was having a conversation with a client of mine yesterday. And this is Mullah, the tragedy is that February 2nd, his AMC for a particular customer was over. And till today, they have not collected the fresh AMC check. And the salespeople are blaming it on COVID. And we all know between February 2nd and March 10th, there was nothing happening. Why was the check not collected? And today the customer is chasing him for giving services. He says, the check is ready. You guys have not collected. The sad state of affairs is that we as adults are very good at staying in bed. We love blaming the world. We love blaming Narendra Modi, Wuhan, Donald Trump, Nirmala Sitharaman, Shaktikanta Das, blaming everybody regarding the situation that we are in. We have 1,001 excuses for why certain things have not been done. And we are constantly in that state of denial. And if you are in bed, it's better to be in bed only, because nothing in our life is going to change. The only way life is going to change when we are above the point of power, and when we say that whatever happens, I take ownership, accountability, and responsibility for my life. This young lady traveling by train was pushed out of the running train by a group of thieves. She fell on an adjoining track, and late at night, another train runs over her legs. She could feel she got the crunching sound of her legs getting crushed. She lay there writhing in pain throughout the night. She could feel rats coming and nibbling at her skin and blood. She had no help. Morning, somebody saw her and took her to a hospital where both her legs were amputated. And on that bed, she made a decision that I am going to take ownership of my life. I am going to be accountable for my life, and I'll be responsible for my life. And she became the first paraplegic to climb Mount Everest. So there's nothing in this world which we cannot do when we change our entire communication from I want to I will. I will do it. When we say I will, life doesn't create any hurdles for us. The biggest of mountains move away from our path. The strongest of men move away from our path, and the biggest hurdles move away from our path, because now we are becoming powerful. Ladies and gentlemen, change of mindset is the first thing that a business owner needs to do to move from the technician to the entrepreneur. Because this change of mindset is the only thing that will allow him to get freedom. So while we will, in the next 30 minutes, we will talk in terms of the how to do it, but the what that needs to be done is first the change of mindset. Because in life, we have two options. We can either be that same egg, and when the egg is broken from inside, we become a chick. We give birth to something new, a new planet, new entity comes up. But that when the change is forced onto us, like it has been to many of us in the last 10 weeks, and it's broken from outside, we turn into an omelet. So choice is ours, what we want to do, because in life, these changes will constantly keep on coming at us every 3-4 years. And as a business owner, we have the primary responsibility towards ourselves that we need to live. We need to live, and we need to take care of business, because as a business owner, not only have I taken responsibility for me and my family, I have taken responsibility for a lot of other families around me. And I need to be that egg which gets broken from inside. And ladies and gentlemen, today, if there is some message that I can leave behind for you and something that you can implement in life, I believe my role in the past 10 months of trying to transform people has happened. But having said that, how do you do that change? Once you have looked at the change, what are those 6 steps that you need to take to move into the true entrepreneur model? Because I need to have freedom. I cannot be in that day-to-day firefighting mode. And the first step is when we talk in terms of chaos to control. The areas of mastery of chaos to control. 4 areas that we need to look at. Where do we want to go? We spoke about that, the haves. What is our personal aspiration from our business? The money piece, the time piece, and the delivery. So let's start with the fundamental of business. When we talk in terms of mastery of money, is how much cash do we have? How much cash are we generating? Or is our cash locked in inventory or locked in accounts receivables? Because I cannot live in that state of vanity of 100 crore business if my cash is 0, and if I have to depend on working capital loans to run a business. My cash should be cash, real cash. So sales is vanity, profit is sanity, and cash is the only reality. How much cash are we generating from the business? Do we have a plan of looking at our business from a balance sheet and P&L statement on a monthly basis, or are we looking at our passbooks? The unfortunate part is most business owners are not very happy dealing with numbers. And as a coach, as somebody who works with business owners, we need to bring them back into that numbers game. We need to ask them inventory. And I'm asking you, what is your cash cap? What is your inventory holding? What is your accounts receivable? What is your true margins? Have you calculated your true margins for your products or for your business? Because in most business owners that I've seen, the true margin doesn't include your costs, your remuneration. Because tomorrow, if you want a CEO or a general manager or an MD to come and run the business, you have to have his costs in calculation of the margins. And today, if you're not doing it, and after 2 years, if you do it, then your margins will go haywire. What are your margins per product? Do you know the products, or does your salespeople, I'm sure you know, does your salespeople know which products are highly profitable to the organization and which are not so highly profitable? Because if you sell more of the less profitable products, you're only creating cash challenges in your business. Your working capital requirements are going up. Your inventory holding is going up. So do we have a sense of those numbers? Do we know how much do we need to make to break even? How much do we need to sell to break even? And in this post-COVID time, do we have a weekly break even? Forget monthly, forget annually. Do we have a weekly break even? Do we know how much we have to sell, how much cash we have to generate on a weekly basis to be breaking even, to keep our head above water? Have we looked at all our costs and seen which are the costs that is a wasteful expenditure and can be reduced? What are the industry benchmarks with break-even and costs? Do we know, or are we measuring, are we mapping ourselves? Do we do any benchmarking studies? Or are we in that cocoon of I know, in that I know mode? Actually, the fact of the matter is that most business owners are not acting as business owners. They're acting like employees. And here we are talking about transforming their employees into entrepreneurs, not entrepreneurs. Employees who would think about the business. But if the business owner is not acting as the business owner, how can he get his employees to act as business owners? How many of us have cash flows? How many of us have business plans? I've seen business plans, which is one-page document. And we work in business plans, which is 18, 20-page document. We should be having everything in place. As action, when we sit with our clients, one thing that we need to do, maybe not the first thing, but one thing that we need to do is get the business plan in place. Where do we see ourselves going 3 years from now? Those are missing in our businesses, ladies and gentlemen. And if you want to become a true entrepreneur, those have to come in. What is the use of having a business if you have no idea where you're going? Because today I want you to think through, at what stage will you say, I have achieved what I wanted to achieve. Now it's time for me to step back and let somebody else drive the business. I'm not talking about you giving away the business. How many offices, how many people, how many projects, what revenue, what profitability, how many countries? Will it be only domestic? Will it be export? What are the different product lines? Where are we going? Why are we not defining that? And having made that money, that you will make money, where will I use that money? Holiday, new house, new car, charity, orphanage, old age home, leave behind for the kids. What will I do with it? A major portion of our coaching, unfortunately, is stuck at that level. Because we want people to define what they want in life, both from life and from business. Because that clarity of what I want to have from my business, or in my business and from my business as an outcome, has to be defined. That 6 quadrants that we talk in terms of income, health, social, personal development, family, society, that needs to come in. Society, you are looking at the spiritual side of things. We all are spirituals. We Indians are spiritual people. But what are we doing about that spirituality? Because only when we have clarity, we will put those actions, we'll take those actions, and then they will lead to success. This chaos that we are living in, the chaotic world that we are living in our business, the outside world is chaotic. But can our houses and our businesses be less chaotic than the outside? Is what we are trying to achieve from the first step of mastery, which is at initially finance, money, second destination, and third time. Where is your time going? Because I want you to focus upon the not urgent important zone, Because when you're not urgent when you're working in that not urgent important zone today, they don't move into the urgent and important. And 99% of our life today is at that urgent to important zone, which is our 60%, which is firefighting. The 10% distraction, the 10% delusion will always be there. Our WhatsApp, our chats with friends, that always will be there, and that has to be there because that will keep us sensible and senile. But the important bit is that you have to start working on your business, and you will start working on your business only when you have moved into that not urgent important zone. When I'm thinking and doing things today, which is from a futuristic standpoint, which is from my strategic standpoint, which is not urgent today because my urgent is happening by itself. But I am doing something which is important from a futuristic point. Because if I don't do that, if I'm not mapping my competition, if I'm not taking care of my products today, if I'm not taking care of my customers today, good chances they will get into the firefighting zone. And then are we delivering consistently? Because again, a lot of business owners that I talk to, they're always on their phone calls because of customer complaints. Delivery nahi hua, quality nahi hai, consistency nahi hai. People don't know how to install it. The wrong packages have gone. The wrong screws have gone in cases. I've seen those ridiculous examples. The package has gone, but the screws have not gone. The instruction manuals have not gone. The installation guy doesn't know that the product has reached. So the customer is sitting on his backside, waiting for the installation guy to come in, when the installation guy has no information about the work. And most business owners, because they are in that bed zone, I'm sorry to say this, because in that bed zone, in that denial phase, they said, everything in my business is going well, sir. Well, everything is good. There's nothing that needs to be done. So I asked them, call up your owner, call up your front office, and try calling up your office to check how easy it is to get information from your organization. And I was talking to a business owner. We were sitting together in a coffee shop, and I told him, I prodded him to call. And he calls up the landline of his office. And after 6 rings, a guy picks up the phone. Ha kai paise tumhala? And this guy turned tomato. 55 crore business. He turned tomato. And when we analyzed further, we saw that the lady receptionist had gone to the washroom, but no one had taken up her position. So the security guy took the call. And because that poor man didn't know what we were asking, the phone went around moving into the organization from person to person, and everyone passing the buck on to somebody else. Is this what you're going to give to your customer? Is this what is happening in your business? If yes, please correct it. Do an experiment, please. Do an experiment, call up your landline from an unknown number and see how easy it is to get responses from your team. When my team was doing some mailing to a lot of people, we got at least, out of 50 mails that we sent, we got at least 15 emails where there was auto response. Because of government orders, our factories are closed. We will come back to you, we'll respond to you when the office opens. Are you telling your customer this? Is this the message your customer is getting when he's emailing to you? The customer who has been your bread and butter, is he getting this kind of responses? Does he deserve this? Why does he deserve this? He has an option, my friend, of tomorrow going to your competitor. Stop it. Stop it before you start losing your customers. You have spent so much time, energy, money in acquiring customers. Stop before they move on to somebody else. Look at your delivery. You are not saying you need to be the best in the world. You need to be only consistent in whatever you have committed to your customer. Undercommit, overperform, in everything that we do, whether it is from time management. If I've given a customer a time that I will come in at such and such time, am I there on time? Am I calling him on time? Am I responding to him on time? Is the product reaching on time? Is the quotation reaching on time? Is the pro forma invoice reaching on time? Let's look at that delivery consistent. Because this is where a lot of organizations, the best of products, are not staying right up there because of delivery. This is the difficult part. The first 4 elements of the base of chaos to control. When you bring your mind into looking at money, when you have clearly aligned your personal and professional goals, when you've focused all your time and you've corrected all your delivery challenges. Because once you have done that, the second part becomes very interesting. When you're creating your niche, when you're creating your unique selling proposition and guarantee. The funny part is globally, whenever we show this slide and we talk to people, all business owners of all hue and colors, of all strata, of all geographies, of all languages have one simple thing to the action coach coaches, that you don't understand our business. Our product does not have an USP. And our take is that every product has an USP. Every product has an USP. Are you trying to establish that USP, and are you communicating that USP? If Domino's can have a USP of 30-minute delivery, when we all know that Domino's pizza is not the best in the world, and they have countered that with a guarantee that if you don't get in 30 minutes, you get it free. What stops us from giving our products with a guarantee, USP and guarantee? Action Coach has a USP. That if within 17 weeks you're not getting the results that you have desired, we give a guarantee that will coach you for the rest of the year free without asking for any more money. Because we're so confident in our work. So people who tell me they don't have a USP are people who are not confident about their work. When I call up a tire vendor for my car and ask him for whatever tires he has, and I ask him about the price, the moment he spells out the price, the entire conversation has ended. Because now the only discussion will be on the price. And there will be in this world a lot of people who will buy only on price. And the word that kills people and kills businesses is that word in English dictionary, which starts with the word alphabet D, that is discounting. 5% discount on your selling price is a 25% loss on your margins. Have you calculated that? You're killing your business. And if you're working on the discounting mode of selling, who are you selling to? You're selling to people who only buy products on discounts. And if they're going to buy products on discounts, there will be some other vendor who will price your product lower than yours. And then you've lost the customer. Please look at your USP. When we work with our customers, we have an 18-page document, sorry, 24-page document to create an USP. And that USP has to be clearly spelled out. Your salespeople have to be trained with that USP. Your communications have to go with that USP. Your website should have that USP. Your brochure should have that USP. Your visiting card should have that USP. And you're selling USP. Unfortunately, people have forgotten, and because a lot of salespeople don't have the sales training, they don't know that FABV model: features, advantages, benefits, values. A customer is looking for value, whereas we are selling on features. And when we are selling on features, the only thing that we can sell on features is by discounting. So look at your products and see what is that unique selling proposition that you can bring to, and believe me, you can bring out your unique selling proposition, not necessarily by terms of the product per se, because you can come and tell me it's a generic product, but in terms of distribution, in terms of positioning, in terms of salespeople, in terms of delivery, you can have a USP around the product. Now, having looked at that, The sad part again is most business owners are focusing on results. If we are only focusing on results, how much sale have I got today? It is like that. I'm sorry to use this terminology again. It's like that shop where you have that Munin sitting there counting cash. He's only looking at the results. आज खाते में कितना लिखा, आज खाते में कितना ऑर्डर आया, आज खाते में कितना डिलीवरी हुआ, आज खाते में कितना कैश आया. If you are looking at results as a business owner, then who's focusing on the actions? Because results is an outcome of actions. And if you are going constantly focusing on results without focusing on the actions, one day when the world changes and our actions are no longer the actions that the world is looking for, our results will become zilch. So please start focusing on the actions, and that's where we as action coach focus on the 5 elements of business, because that's where it gets extremely exciting. And I'll put some numbers in. So you see eight rows, the 5 blues and 3 reds. The reds are those results. Anything that is followed by an equal or which follows an equal to sign is a result. So customer is a result, revenue is a result, profit is a result. I want you to move your focus into the 5 actions. What are the leads that I'm getting? From where am I getting the leads? What is my marketing ROIs? What are my lead generation strategies? How many lead generation strategies do I have? Who is measuring the efficacy of those lead generation strategies? I am putting in money in marketing. Is it giving me returns? I'm asking you to now, as a business owner, to look at those 5 blues. And let's start putting some numbers in. So some simple numbers for ease of calculation. Your 4,000 lead generation leads that you're generating through your strategies, current strategies, whatever it is, the conversion rate is 25%. Your customers are 1,000. Every customer buys twice from you. Some may buy once, some may buy 10 times. So the average is 2 times. The average dollar sale is 100. Your revenue is 200,000. Your calculated margin is 25%, and you make $50,000 in this small business. Now this will continue to be this way as long as you're focusing on the red. Now what happens if we start focusing on the blues? From where are your lead generation strategies? What are your lead generation strategies? How many lead generation strategies do you have? Every business that I've spoken to, they don't have more than 3. Now 3 is not sufficient today. And every business coach will tell you, every business consultant will tell you, you should have at least 10 different strategies, lead generation strategies. Obviously, you can't go from 2 to 10 in year 1, but you will have to keep on adding. And you'll have to keep on adding the ones which are the lowest of costs, because you don't want to overshoot your expenses. We as Action Coach, we have 72 lead generation strategies for our clients. Not all will fit into your business, but some will. Now, assuming that by looking at your lead generation strategies and using some of the ones that we have, you're able to grow your leads by 10%, not much. We have seen that leads actually become 25, 30%. But then let's keep the numbers low for year 1. Next 12 months, the lead generation strategy is implemented. You will not reach 10 lead generation strategies, certainly. We're looking at 10% growth. Now you're already having a 25% conversion. But where is the conversion coming from? If you have 3 strategies and you're putting X, Y, Z amount of money in those 3 strategies, are we measuring those strategies? Are we measuring the efficacy? Because this is what we call marketing ROIs. Are we measuring the MROIs from each of those strategies that we're implementing? And again, one of our coaches had this very interesting example. His business, the client was doing two parts of lead generation. Somewhere he was putting in 60% of his money, and another place 40% of his money. And when we measured, we saw that the place where he was putting in 60% of the money was not giving him one single dollar of sales. But year after year, he was doing that kind of investment in that lead generation. All his leads were coming in from the place where he was putting in that 40%. No, it doesn't need anyone to have any intelligence to understand what the business owner would have done with that 60% of the money, and where would he have moved. So just by measuring your MROIs and the efficacy of your MROIs, your conversion rate can go up significantly. On top of that, we have another 60 odd strategies for conversion. Now that can easily take your conversion rate up by 10%. It can go up by 25%, certainly, yes, it can. But just by measuring them, it can go up by 10%. And I'm not talking about 25 to 35%. I'm talking from 25 to 27.5%. Wherever you are today, you may be at 10% conversion. No problems. A 10% growth on that. A simple 10% growth will take your customers to 1210. Then look at the number of transactions that a customer does with you. Does your customer know all your products? Does he know everything that we sell? Are we keeping on writing to our customers every 90 days? Hand on heart, how many of us have written to our customer, our past customers, our current customers, and our prospects once between January and March, and now between April and June? How many of us have written to them? The chances are very limited. Please stay in touch with your customers. Your databases needs to be updated. Your database needs to be cleaned up. I have seen a lot of databases with still that @vsnl.net.in email IDs. Those are defunct. Please look at that. One of my coaches, compatriots in another city, he decided to try this out. He says, how do we do it? Let's try it out, for example. He's been in this business for 3-4 years. So he went and very interestingly started with his hairdresser. He says, see, Mr. XYZ, I am a coach. I need to look groomed. I need to come once a month to have my hair cut. But I come once in 2 months. Can you at end of every month send me a WhatsApp message that my haircut is due? He says, yes. So every month end, that guy would send him a WhatsApp message. And my friend and my compatriot, instead of going 6 times, he should have ideally gone 12 times. He didn't go 12 times. He went 9 times, which is a 50% growth on the number of transactions that the business has had with him. So number of transactions can increase when the customer knows everything that you're selling. Not from the B part, not from the feature part, but from the value part. He should know what problem of the customer you're solving. So by doing all that and the 60 strategies that we have, which we use with our clients, again, not all of them work for all customers, we go by 10%. Not double, not 60%, just asking a 10% growth on the number of transactions that your customer is having with you. Then comes another interesting piece is the average dollar sale. How many of our salespeople are trained to oversell? Spare parts, AMCs, new products. If a McDonald's guy who's not trained, who's not even a trained salesperson, if he can upsell by standing at that counter, when I go for a burger, he says, "Namaskar, sir. What can I offer you?" I say, "A veg burger." He says, "What else can I give you? Can I give you a juice? Can I give you a softie? Can I give you a French fries? Can I give you a coffee?" He's upselling. Not all customers will buy it. But when I was talking to one of the McDonald's guys, he says a 30% conversion rate to ho hi jata hai. 30% guys convert and buy something more. And it's no longer 10%. It's about 20, 25, 30%, because another product, if a burger is 100 rupees, another product is 100 rupees, that's 200. It's 100% growth. But I'm asking you, by training your salespeople, by asking them to upsell, can you grow by 10%? Can you grow by 10%? And if you can do all this, if you go and ask your CA, ask your accountants, and there are accountants in the room as well, and they will tell you, Malloy, by doing nothing else, just by selling more, my profit margins will go up. And not by 50%, 60%, by 10%, it will grow up. And if not, we have another 60 strategies to help you do that. So your revenue now should go up to 220,000, 10% growth. But we are mistaken. We forget that there is a power of multiplication, and your revenues have gone up by 46%. And your profit margin, if it goes up by 10%, your profit has gone by 60%. This is mathematics, ladies and gentlemen. You can calculate, you can use your calculator right now and do it. But by just focusing on the actions, the 5 areas, number of leads, conversion, number of transaction, average dollar sale, and profit margins, you have the potential to grow your business by 46% and your profits by 61% by growing each one of them at 10%. Not everywhere it will grow by 10%. Somewhere it can not grow. Somewhere it can grow by 15%. Do the numbers and you will see, because there is a massive opportunity lying ahead for you to grow your revenues and to grow your profits. It is up to you to decide whether from tomorrow I'm going to focus on the results or I'm going to focus on those actions. There's a massive, and hence we call this the massive growth, the massive opportunity. And there's a huge option out there for you, but just by streamlining your entire sales team. Yes, it will take time. It will not happen tomorrow. Your sales team needs to be trained. Your USPs have to be created. Your guarantees have to be created. Your databases have to be generated, have to be cleaned up. You have to start writing out to your old customers and your new customers and your prospects. Yes, you will have to do your brochures. You will have to redo your communications. Your sales trainings will have to happen. But in the next 1 year, in the next 12 months, there's a possibility that you have this option ahead for you. Choice is yours, again, ladies and gentlemen, whether you want to take it or not, because this is where you see the real money. The power of money comes in, and the power of money can help you achieve all those dreams that you have set up, first in that have category, and second in your destination mastery, that now I have those haves, and I'll be able to achieve those haves. And now I will be able to streamline business and put it into an autopilot mode. The third step is systemizing your business, the 9 steps to systemizing your business, which now you have to redo because now we have money. Your vision statements will change because now you're looking at an autopilot. Now you're looking at a business which will have your CEOs and your MDs coming in. So what is the vision statement? Why am I on this planet with this business? These books are available on Amazon by Brad. Brad has written about 20 odd books. Please go and buy them. Even if you don't want to get into a formal coaching, please go and buy them. Nothing stops you from reading and self-learning. Your missions have to come up, which again I've spoken in terms of destination, that how many offices, how many people, how many businesses, how many employees, how many customers, how many geographies, all those missions will have to be defined. What are the rules of the game that you're going to play with? What is that culture? People aligned with businesses because of the culture that they give. And there's nothing right or wrong about cultures. Whatever is your culture is your culture. The business owner has to bring his culture into the business. People who are aligned to that culture will stay with you. People who are not aligned with that culture may go. but you want people who will be there in the longer run. So once the rules of the game of the business have been set up, what are the goals of each department? We've spoken about SMART goals: specific, measurable, achievable, result-oriented, time-bound. Do people know what they have to do? Is there a set of goals for all of them to achieve, both tangible as well as intangible, both the hard goals and the soft goals? Has it been defined? Because unfortunately, most organizations are not doing it. And as a result, some people who come and tell me that, sir, they're waiting for me to start, is because we have not set goals for your people. From that goals, you have to have your organization chart. And I'm asking you today, how many of you have an organization chart for today? And when the business is done with, it's been fully established. We need to know. Today, you may have blocks which are empty and you're putting in your names or your family members' names. But we need to know what are the kind of people we are looking for and when are we looking for. I am not at all suggesting that you need to hire the best of talent now. You should not before you have cash in place. Your cash has to be in place. But that visibility of that organization chart is critical and paramount to your success, because that will lead to positional contract. And the positional contract is for people to know on what they will be measured. I have seen a lot of business owners writing director marketing, director sales, director HR. And when I ask them, what do you do? They say, I'm director marketing. When I ask them, what do you do? They said, I'm leading marketing. I said, on what will you be measured on? They have no answer. So please have a segregation between ownership and management. If the owners are part of management, they should all sign a positional contract. Or you stay as an owner. Stay as an owner and reap the benefits of the business which is being driven by professionals. But if as an owner, and that's what I have a lot of conflicts with my clients, when I tell them you should have a positional contract. What are the things that you will do? So why are you in the business? So your job description is the first part. The second part is, what are the actions that you will take? What are your KRAs? And what are your KPIs? What are your performance indicators? And please, for all businesses, have your compensation split into 3. Most employees today are in that comfort zone because they get 100% of their money for coming to work. And they have no measurable, no accountability, no responsibility. That's why they're always in that bed zone, because they know the 31st ko the boss salary de dega na. That SMS will come. Whether the boss has food to eat or not is a different thing. He will send the money. Because you have not linked up his compensation to the performance. So have some major component for him to come to work. Second, for actions that he's going to take. And third, for the results he's going to bring in. Please never forget that statement that actions is equal to results. Today, all of us are learning, but learning is not going to give us results. We need to take actions. So what are the actions he's going to take? And what are the results that he's going to bring into the business? Because he needs to contribute to the growth of the business. So anyone in the business, and you can look at your businesses and look at your people, anyone who is not contributing to either acquiring a customer, maintaining a customer, or satisfying a customer, has no place in my organization. So whether it's that accountant, whether it's that HR, whether it's that the sales guy, whether it's a back office guy, everyone should be focusing on that customer. No one should be focusing on satisfying the business owner. Sorry, we are not in that stage at all. And next 6 months will no longer be in that stage. So how are you telling your people today that from July onwards or from August onwards, none of them can go on a holiday? No Krishna, no Ganesh Chaturthi holidays, no Diwali holidays, no Christmas holidays this year. Sorry, the world has changed. This year has been different and everyone has to align. But we don't have the guts to go and tell our salespeople. As a business owner, I have my two biggest grievances are, one, the business owner is the most scared of raising his prices. In most cases, the customer doesn't even know what was the old price and what is the new price. He's the most scared. And second, he's scared on pulling up his employees. He, rather than pulling up the employees, takes the workload of the employees and does it himself. And the employee gets into that comfort zone. He's scared. The employee chala gaya to kya hoga? Kahan se milega? Milega. Train them well, hire them well, train them well, give them good KPIs, mil jayega. Because if you don't do that, you will not be able to get your systemized business. And then you get into your how-to systems. Then you get into your how-to systems. What are your SOPs of the system? There's no point doing the SOPs till the first 7 are done. Because once your SOPs are done, everyone is on the same page. And once the how-to systems are done, please go and play golf once a week. Because you know every Friday evening, your MIS will come to you. You've structured it so well that you know exactly what is going to happen in the business or what is happening in the business. So whether you are in Bombay or you're in Pune or you're in Goa or in Bahamas or in US or in Europe or in Australia, your MIS Friday evening, 8 o'clock, your MIS will come to you. But this can be done only if we as business owners want to do it. Only if we want to change ourselves. That be times do is equal to have is critical. Moving from the technician to that entrepreneur is critical. Changing our mindset is critical. Changing from within is critical. Doing the 6 steps is critical. We have done the 3 steps for now. We have looked at the chaos to control. We have looked at the niche, which is a USP guarantee and your 5 action points. We have looked at the systemizing of the business. And now you're looking at, when the business is systemized, you're looking at team. Because now we want the structure for a business which runs without you. That is the business which is for growth. You cannot be in that business. We are not here for perpetuity. The business is here for perpetuity. We need to have the right people in the bus. Because winning teams knows how to get the right people in the bus. Like someone has said, Tom Peters have said, that most employees are motivated, energetic, committed, enthusiastic, loyal, except for the 8 hours a day they work for you. It is only because they are not the right people in the bus. So how are you going to get them? How are you going to get away from your traditional hiring process? How are you going to look at new talent? How are you going to do those KRAs, KPIs, and the positional contract? How are you going to do that? And how are you going to take them to that circle of business owner taking care of employees, employees taking care of customers, and customers taking care of the business? Because you need to reach that stage. By doing that, you would have now started to work on the business rather than in the business like a technician. When you have put your house in order, when you have got your predictable cash flows, when you have kept your documentation in place, when you have done everything that needs to be done with the systemizing of the business, when you have got the right people in the business, now you're working on the business. You're totally on the business. And that's the fabulous part, because now you have got freedom. You have got freedom from all the day-to-day running and firefighting of the business. The first 4 steps are to give you freedom, and that freedom can give you duplication. Now you think about the next business and the 3rd business and the 4th business and the 5th business. Even within the first business, where are you going to set up your businesses? Because now it's all about duplication. Should I do franchisee model? Should I set up another JV? Should I get into strategic alliances? Should I get into a vertical integration? Should I get into backward integration? Should I get into forward integration? Where do I need to go? Because Richard Branson has very aptly said, and he's one champion of businessman who runs multiple businesses at the same time, that if you can learn to run one business successfully, there is no reason why you can't run any number of businesses at the same time. The principles are still the same. The key out here is, do we know how to run one business successfully? Many cases I've seen people come and ask me all different questions. Sir, I want to set up a business. What should I do? Now, when your basic fundamentals are a problem, then your business will always be a challenge. So by doing these 4 steps and get into the 5th and the 6th step, you will be able to run your current business absolutely successfully. And there's no reason why you can't do it. Because Jim Rohn, again, a great motivator speaker and an entrepreneur, has said, he passed away in 2009. I've been following him from 2005 onwards. He has said a very interesting statement, and he said this in 2008. Never wish your life was easier, wish you were better. And you will all know that times will continue to be difficult. Competition will come up, new technologies will come up, customer behavior will change, customer demands will change. The world is a different place altogether. Your outbound marketing has stopped for all it matters. How do you get into inward marketing? What are you talking on the Zoom call or on the phone call? Who would have thought that we would all be on that Zoom call today? The rate of digitization has changed significantly. When you restart your business will have to look very differently. What are those internal things that you are doing? What are the internal changes that you are doing? Whom do you get into that business? Who are the top 10% who have to come into that business? So your life is not going to become easier. As a business owner or as an individual, our life is going to be very difficult. We have to ensure that we are higher up in our knowledge levels. We are better. Because today, again, like I think Kotler said, Philip Kotler, the great marketing guru, he has said that whatever current knowledge we have, that half-life is 2 years. Which means in 4 years, whatever we know today is over, is zilch. So we need to constantly keep on changing ourselves if we need to have to look at world in the 2030s. Which means we need to work harder on ourselves than we do on our job, in our businesses. We need to be working harder on ourselves. That is paramount, that is important. And I said this in the month of March, in my first webinar series when we started. I've told people that your success will depend upon how you are going to spend your next 8 to 10 weeks of your life. How much time you're spending in front of Netflix, Amazon Prime, and how much time you're spending on yourself in upskilling yourself. And what are the actions you're taking? We have so many webinars happening every single day. A lot of us attend a lot of webinars, but that is only knowledge. Action is something that we need to take, because result is an outcome of action. Brad Sugars, the founder of Action Coach, and there's about 50 businesses today where he's invested. 26 years he has been doing this. Please go to Action Coach site and you will hear a lot of his, you'll find a lot of his videos. Where you will be in 5 years will depend on the books you read, the people you associate, and the actions you take. When I do my life coaching also, I look at a person and I ask him, what are the kind of 5 people that you have around you? And when he describes those 5 people, I can invariably predict what's the kind of salary levels this guy or lady would have. Because we are always comfortable aligning ourselves with people who are our level or one level below. Because we are very wary of associating with people one level higher than us because of our insecurities. So ladies and gentlemen, while I close today and I'm open to questions, before that, what are the actions that you can take? Tiger Woods, the final comment, Tiger Woods had said that no matter how tough you think you are, you can't do this on your own, when he was discussing the value of his coach and his support team. And unfortunately, a lot of us feel that we can do it on our own. I certainly don't feel, because I have two coaches, one who coaches me on my life coaching business and one who coaches me on my business coaching business. So I invest in my coaches. It's up to you whether you want to invest in your upskilling. For you to take action, there are two masterclasses that I'm starting from next Saturday onwards. One is for business owners, how to propel your business on the next level. So if you don't want to get into a full-fledged coaching program right now, coaching mentoring program right now, these are 4 sessions, 2.5 hours each over Zoom. And whoever is interested, please send me a WhatsApp and I'll send you the details. Investment is 6,000 rupees plus GST for the 4 sessions, 1,500 rupees per session. Up to you whether you want to decide, you want to take it or not. The second is on typically re-energizing your sales and marketing. Again, focus at the business owner and their Zoom calls. This also starting next Saturday. 3 sessions, 2.5 hours each. But 3 sessions, here it's 4 sessions, so here it's 5,000 plus GST. Anyone who's interested, please send me a WhatsApp. I will do that. But in case you're not interested in getting into the short-term courses and you want to understand how do you explore full freedom through the full coaching program, please register for a 1-hour complimentary business coaching session through this link. I'll put it up on the chat box right now. This is absolutely complimentary 1-hour coaching session about your business, about the challenges your business is facing, about where do you want to take the business to, and whatever insights I can give you in that 1 hour, absolutely complimentary, no commitments from either side that I have to coach you or you will have to sign up for a coaching. After that, you see value, it's up to you. You can do that. Please, time to get into action. And with that, these are my contact coordinates, again, put up on the chat box. I end here and I'm open to any questions while I put up this details on the chat box. Any questions, please? I'm happy to answer any question that you may want to have. I'll put up this on the chat box to everyone in the meeting. Yes, please. This is, yeah, thank you so much for your response. Thank you. Loved having you here in this room. Yeah. So, okay. So this is a 1-hour coaching program. So what I typically do is there are 2. This not one session. There are 1.5 sessions. So we'll have a 15-20 minute quick conversation. 15-20 minute quick conversation, and based on that, I will send you a business health check document. That business health check document will have a lot of insights about your business. Just by implementing it in your business, you will do a lot of changes. And once you send it out to me, we'll have that 1-hour complimentary session where I will share thoughts about what I think you should do in your business at that point in time. Thank you. Thank you so much. Thank you, Doctor. Thank you, Chandrahas. Any other questions that I can address, please feel free to reach out. Thank you, Saurav. Thank you. My emails, my phone numbers, and my email. Anyone who wants to reach out to me, please, you can connect with me out here. If there are no other questions. Okay, so this program, okay, thank you for the question. This program can be for everybody, whether you are, or you are what? Okay, so you're, okay, so you have a financial consulting business. Yes, absolutely. If you're a financial consulting business, you need to look at what are the deliverables and what you have to do in your business. It is equally good for everybody, not only for manufacturing, even for services, for healthcare institutions, for restaurants. I'm coaching currently a restaurant. I'm coaching a couple of, one consulting company I'm coaching who's in the consulting space. I'm consulting a salon and a couple of companies in the in the manufacturing space. So it works for everybody. Okay, so looks like no other questions. Thank you so much for your time. Look forward to seeing you sometime. And thank you so much. Okay.